Get Over, the consciousness transforming podcast for exceptional 21st century living. We've got a very special friend of the show back. Cyndi Dale is joining us, and we're going to talk about her soon to be released book, January of 22, and it's entitled Advanced Chakra Healing: 4 Pathways to Energetic Wellness and Transformation. And folks, this is a tome, okay? This is a course all in itself. It is well worth the investment because you're investing in yourself. If you want to get right, okay, this is the book to get of Cyndi's. So the information shared on Get Over It uses intuitive and pragmatic insight to help you shift your consciousness to break through the blocks and release energy that is no longer needed. Yes, we're going to help you let go of the BS that's holding you back. But you guys know I always ask that question, are you truly ready to? And by the way, folks, BS is belief system. A bit about me for my new listeners: intuitive since birth. I'm a 3rd generation intuitive with over 3 decades of experience supporting people to break through the blocks along their path. I'm a strategist for personal and professional transformation, revealing cutting edge information that enables you to prosper and thrive. I spent 25 successful years in corporate America as an executive sales professional, and I am the founder of Healing Visions Ministries and the Northern California Children's Education Network, a 501c3 nonprofit. I provide consultations and healings in all areas of life that heal the mind, body, spirit connection, allowing you to live your very best life. My clients tell me that I keep it real while providing them with accurate information to assist them along their journey as a spirit living a human existence. But they also say, if you really don't want to know, don't ask Monique. My background includes a doctorate in metaphysics, Reiki master teacher, ordained minister, and clinical hypnotherapist. So whether you are stressed, depressed, or possessed, I can help. To find out more about me and the services I offer, go to my website, and that's moniquechapman.com. And I invite you to like me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter and LinkedIn. Cyndi Dale is back, and she's an internationally renowned author, speaker, healer, best-selling author of 28 books about energy, medicine, and spirituality. Her books are published in over 18 languages, and many of her books have won national acclaimed awards. In addition, Cyndi has worked with over 70,000 clients and students and has presented hundreds of seminars and workshops across more than 14 countries, all while conducting media appearances on all national networks. And besides conducting her popular class through the Shift Network, she will soon be appearing in 2 upcoming documentaries. And you can find out more about her by going to her website, and that's cindydale.com, CYNDIDALE.com. Welcome back, Cyndi.
Oh, thank you, Monique. I just love you. I'm so happy to be here. I love that if people don't want to know, they just should not ask you.
Yeah, because I fortunately look in and I tell them, and they're like, "Oh, wasn't ready for that one." I'm like, "Well,
Well, then
don't
they're
ask."
not really ready for their life. So there
Yeah,
you are.
yeah. Don't ask if you don't want to know.
Yeah,
So,
there you are.
this book that's coming out in January. Now, this is a reworking of a previous work, right?
Oh, yes, and it's just even bigger than it used to be. It's like 800
Yeah.
pages. It's an interesting book. It's one of those kind of odd books that when you look at it, you go, now, how do I read this? And it really is more like a course. I think of it, it's more like a soul course. Like,
Hmm.
how does reality really work? And I just got a hoot out of it being written up in Men's Journal.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know. I'm like, wow. They said, now this is very weird, but you know what? We're in a weird time. So it might be also really helpful because there's a lot of exercises. So it's really about what's the nature of reality. And, golly knows we all need to expand how to, kind of see reality so that we can be a bit more empowered in the middle of the world today.
Okay. Well, I'd like to focus on finances today, but I do want to ask a question about the Chakra Healing book, the Advanced Chakra Healing book. In that, you talk about the 4 pathways healing system, and I was caught by how it was revealed to you. Could you share that with the audience?
Yeah, I had my first book come out nearly 30 years ago, and it was a chakra book, and I put out a 12 chakra system, which was odd enough at the time. And then my publisher wanted a sequel. I
Hmm.
wrote most of the sequel, And then I had this dream. Christ showed up, showed me my refrigerator, which is very embarrassing, and said, why are you just going to write the same book again? What people need to know is there are 4 levels of reality. And he proceeded to use my refrigerator as an example to make the point. So, one is an everyday level of reality. That's where you got your condiments, your this and that. There's a power pathway where you just move big forces around. There's a cool imaginal pathway that's all sort of magic and shaman. Then there's the divine pathway where everything just magical appears. And I hoped that that would mean that some invisible elf would just be cleaning the refrigerator and making my dinner every day. And it didn't quite work.
No.
But I really do have to give credit back to Christ to say, let me show you a bigger, different way to look at the world. And that's what is in advanced chakra healing.
Well, it's interesting because you pared it down to real life situations where people can really understand and equate the information. And relate the information. So folks, this is a book. It's coming out in January of 2022. It's you can order an advanced copy on Amazon right now. The price will be locked in. Well worth the investment because you're going to invest in yourself. And talking about investments, Cyndi, let's talk about finances because you're pretty good at utilizing the chakras and finances and all that. And we're in an interesting time right now.
Are we not? Everyone's thinking about money. And some people, because of, lockdowns, lockups, lockdown, whatever they've been going through, right? They're like, it's tight. They don't know what to spend their money on, or they don't have enough coming in. So many people are and or want to change jobs right now, too.
I know.
So we have a lot of fluidity and a lot of flexibility. And unfortunately, of course, we've also come out of, if there's landlords, they may be shy of money because of some of the rebates given to renters, but now renters are, kind of finding themselves more out on the street. We have inflation. This is the time to really understand money. I think understanding money from that perspective of chakras is terribly useful and practical. You pointed out the importance of practicality, Monique. It's really important to be real, to make energy and spirituality something really baseline, which is the purse and the wallet.
Yes, it is. So what can we do? Because for me, when I haven't meditated in a while, which sometimes I have to admit I sometimes do, everything falls apart. I mean, finances, everything, it just falls apart. And then when I go back to being grounded and, moving forward with my mind, things tend to happen. So let's do a deep dive in. You just take over and talk about finances and what we can and should be doing.
Absolutely. So chakras are subtle energy centers, and there's different chakras. I'm not going to give you all 12 because that's just way beyond necessary, to be really honest. But what's important is they manage our physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being. So each of them is a steering wheel that runs a certain part of who we really are. And 99.999% of us is made out of subtle energy or the invisible. I think when you and I got trained, it was called psychic energy.
Yeah.
Right?
Don't age us now. Don't age us.
Now it's like spooky, but it's subtle energy. It's the invisible stuff that is most of 99.99% plus of who we are. So if you're missing what is essentially a physical energy or something that gives you what you need physically, which is money, even though it is invisible too, right? You really need to work with the subtle energetics in the programs that are telling the world, telling other people, even ways you talk to yourself unconsciously about what you deserve to attract and bring in and what you don't. And, I'm going to make it super simple. There's 2 chakras that work for everybody to focus on if they need more money, which also includes less debt and not just money. Like maybe you need a carpet. Woohoo, if somebody gives you a free carpet.
Yes.
Right? Just take the free carpet.
And say thank you.
Exactly. And you mentioned it, Monique, when you talked about being grounded in the body. Those lower chakras in relation to the body are all about our physicality, our physical needs, our need for food, for shelter, for, for mates, which is a physical need as well, good friends, good people to be with. And the core one that's programmed in the womb to 6 months of age, most, if not all of your financial or survival or security issues are programmed at that age, is first chakra, red chakra, in the coccyx, in the hips. And that is the energy center. It's just a computer, right? It's a software program that's deciding how much money you're getting and how much you're not. So you want to clean that chakra out baseline.
Okay. And how do we do that?
Let's just do it.
Okay. I'm ready.
I can say I can explain it, or I can just walk us through it, right?
Let's do it.
Okay, so I'm going to be a little geeky in terms of chakras. There are actually 2 wheels to every chakra. There's an inner wheel, like it's really, really core inside of us, in the chakras in the body. It's in the spine, but it's made out of pure spirit energy. Beautiful programs, spirit programs, God programs. And there's an outer wheel, right? Which just like comes along, that holds all of our issues. You don't want to run that set of programs. And in the middle of, say, the first chakra is a kind of a light that scientists are now calling absolute light, like real scientists, not just like fake scientists, right? Not scientists. It's a light that casts no darkness. So the easiest way to clear our money issues, to open up to goodness and abundance is, just kind of go along with this. Like, focus on your hips, take a few deep breaths. Like, you've already acknowledged we're spirit in action, we're spirit in body. So you're just going to connect with your own essence in the middle of that hip area.
Okay.
And whatever you believe in, whatever you call greater spirit, God, universe, creator, Holy One. And then literally just ask to have the good light inside of that first red chakra activated. It's really kind of that easy. It's like turning on a switch.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
It works too.
Yeah. My aura bounced up.
There you go. It does. Yeah. You work with that first chakra, everything opens up. All the other chakras open up. That light is cleansing you from family security issues that are harming you, and literally just turning you into this beam. So of who you are. So let's say you need a job, people will notice you now. Right? They can perceive you. Let's say that you're always the one, kind of being scapegoated. And so if you're at jobs, you're the one who gets blamed. You're the one who gets fired. You're the one who never gets that promotion. Well, guess what? You talked about your work field. Now you got boundaries. Now you have boundaries to say, I'm sorry, not me. I'm one of the good ones. You want to promote me. So this is the easiest way, to kind of turn on that light that will give you security in general and money in specific.
Okay.
So there's another chakra that's really easy to work with, and it's the heart chakra, of course. So that's in the middle of our heart space under the sternum. It does relate to the physical heart, because the physical heart gives off, and I know you know this already, Monique, more electrical, magnetic, and electrical, magnetic, activity and sound than the brain, than any other part of you. So it's literally instructing the world who you are and how to treat you. And so many studies are saying if you hold positive emotions like appreciation and gratitude in that heart, but really in the heart chakra, guess what? You get back what you're putting out. So we can do the same exercise here. Just kind of envision that center spot. I kind of call it our God spot in the middle. I like to think of that inner heart chakra as actually holding a cell, CELL, of the divine. So it's physical, like all the way down to subatomic and cellular activity. And again, now you can even think more of what you actually need. A car, I understand, is coming your way. So you don't have to really manifest that right now, but maybe somebody else does. Right?
Uh-huh.
Right? So whatever you really need that is here and now, knock on wood, a financial sum by a certain date, kind of like a fridge full of food, whatever it might be, hold that in here, because it's promised that our needs are to be met. And we can't just always figure out how we're going to be doing that. So hold that need or multiple needs in the middle of this heart basin. And again, we're just turning that absolute light on and letting it shine.
Wow.
Isn't that a beautiful
It,
feeling?
it it is, and boy, the colors that I saw and the energies, just moving in and out because I asked for a whole bunch of stuff, and it came. I want to share a quick story, folks, on manifesting. I talked to I tried to do the husband and wife thing and talk to my husband about getting a new car. And for the past 45 years that we've been married, every time I talk to him about a new car, he goes, "No, we can't afford it." And then the next month, a new car appears in the driveway because I don't accept we can't afford it. And I talked to him again this time, and we're both, retirement age. He's retired, I'm retirement age. And he said, "No, we can't afford it." And I'm like, okay. Now, because of COVID last year, my business was a little bit soft, so I didn't have the numbers that I was comfortable with going to the bank. And I just sat down and did a lot of what Cyndi just talked about, not knowing her process. And you know what? The car is coming by Saturday. It's off the truck. It's at the dealership. I just have to go give them money and, do everything. So if you truly want it, you have to have a certain level like of belief, right, Cyndi, that you can
Yes.
manifest it?
Yes, believe in yourself, believe in the goodness, believe in this, in the universe and your place in it. And, and if where you don't believe, just forgive yourself. So,
Mhm.
like to myself, I say a phrase, I am open where I am willing to receive and where I am not willing. And then that just kind of covers it.
Okay. Yeah.
So, and you don't always have to do that deep dive where you're not willing. Just know, there might be this human part of myself that's like, oh, but my dad drove a junker, so I should just drive a junker, and the other side of it, Monique, on the back end is be also willing to kind of follow the signs that you get,
Mm.
about what to do and how to do it. For instance, my youngest son was heading out in the late summer to North Carolina for, well, I should say college, but it's really just baseball. It's a college where he plays baseball, right?
Okay.
And I wanted him to have a really safe car. So let's stay with cars.
Hmm.
And I was like, well, maybe we'll just buy something when he comes back for break and this and that. And I had a dream that was so clear. There was a red color in the dream. I don't know what type of vehicle it was, but the message was get it now. And
Mm.
he was actually for baseball out in Seattle all summer. And so
Hmm.
he wasn't going to be able to look at cars, drive them. And we just did a little bit of research, figured out what he might want to do. I went online. I thought, that's it. That's his pickup, a pickup, no less. Doesn't
Hmm.
every boy want a pickup? And
Yes.
I just knew what it was. I went in, we got it, sold off the other one, sold off two actually, because it's like,
Hmm.
right? Because they're expensive. And you know what? If I had waited until right now, kind of his break time, the
Hmm.
Toyota, they're not available. Not in
No, they're not.
he'd be stuck on the road somewhere with an old beater that, he'd be going, Mom, AAA's not answering.
Yeah.
So
Or they'll be here 3 hours from now.
yeah, so go with your signs too. That's another thing that, kind of knowing you're a spirit and your chakras can bring to you what you want. Sometimes it's about them bringing you indications or signs too.
Mhm. Yes, it is. Now we talked about cars and, it's nice to have, and I'm talking new cars, folks. I don't do used. Okay, so we're talking new. But some people are at the point right now that they truly don't have the finances for food, the finances for shelter. How do they get out of that rut so that they can move forward? Because it seems like they're broken. Can you heal yourself from a place of being broken?
Yes, yes. And there's a couple ways that I would speak to that. Yeah, of course, work first chakra, work with the heart, and ask also for healing energy to be given to you. Keep that open so it can come from whatever it is you call the Holy One, but from other people too. Because ultimately, when we're in that really broken place, you know what we want to have healed is our ability. We want to heal into an ability to receive.
Mm-hmm.
You want to be able to receive. You want to
Yeah.
receive grace. You want to receive what, other people are, going to be called to give you. And so sometimes when we're in that place, we really are going to have to rely on others, a food bank, a nonprofit, a system, people who show up for us. So ask for a healing to be given on those receivership issues. Because I know I grew up, being told, do it yourself. If you can't do it, shame on you. And so it's so important to know that everybody gets broken, everybody has brokenness, and there are beings and people in this world who are willing to help. You can also figure out what your main chakra is. So many of us have one chakra that's stronger than another. And this can be kind of complicated. It doesn't need to be, though. So if, for instance, you're a really physical person, that's first chakra, right? You're a doer. You're a very emotional, creative person, that's second chakra. That's in the womb space, the abdomen. You're a thinker. You're a mental based person, that's solar plexus. That's in the, kind of like, that's all about mental activity and structure. Maybe you're a heart based person, that's the heart, that's about relationship and healing. And I'm just sticking with the 7 in the body.
Okay.
What if you're a communicator? That's in the throat. You're the talker, the kind of always like ruminating music, etc. That's that throat, 5th chakra, communication site. What if you're a visualizer? You're aesthetic. You're about beauty and what you see. Maybe you're clairvoyant. That's in the 6th chakra in the brow. Or you're spiritual. You're about connection. You're about grace and whatever it is you call God. That's the chakra in the top of the head. So when we know who we are with those choices, it's much easier to open to assistance and help. If we certainly work through the 1st, work through the 4th, but also say, I'm an emotional person. I'm a creator. I'm in the 2nd chakra. So, I'm going to hold myself in a place of joy. And then it's going to be easier for me to find a job, to know what food bank to go to tell my neighbor, that I need assistance. Or if you're a thinker person, you're not going to feel your way through anything.
Yeah.
You're a thinker. Create a plan, write down everybody that's that solar plexus. Get yourself a schedule, make calls in the morning. So I think it's always really good to have a sense of our personal identity, and to work with those strengths also. And it really gives form to it. Like, I'm a very 1st chakra person. That's the doer. When I was setting up an apartment years ago with my oldest son, and I was broke, like I had nothing. I followed my body instincts. Like I flowed with what, maybe a dream that I had or something too, and I do remember I needed a carpet. And I just thought, I'm getting in the car right now. I'm just going to drive around. The cool thing about Minnesotans is we put things we don't want on our front lawn.
Oh, okay.
And we're really a cool state like that. I mean, even in the winter, there's stuff put out.
Wow. Okay, cool.
There was my carpet because I just had to I just acted. Or years and years ago, before I even knew about the chakras, I was dead broke in college. My parents divorced. I had no money, had no apartment, had no this, had no that. I just went to a restaurant. I just went to this restaurant. I said, do you need help? They hired me. On the spot, they were so nice. They knew I had no place. They actually found me a place to live until I saved enough money to get an apartment. So trust your own identity and your own way of doing or feeling or opening as well.
Okay, let me ask a question around that because I'm actually working with 2 clients right now. They're both born in November. They're both sex addicts, so that chakra is, very wide open in my opinion, anyway. And they can't manifest. They're both like almost on the street. So how does that interfere, having a chakra that might be too active interfere with manifesting what they truly need besides that physical closeness to, get some money in their pocket?
That is so great because that sex addiction, basic sex acts, etc., our first chakra, again, it's trained womb to 6 months. So it's really, really pre-verbal kind of stuff. So if we have that chakra too open for one thing, and we have guilt and shame around what we're putting in that chakra, if you would, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's going to block that chakra's receptivity to something like money and housing and our fundamental needs. So, first of all, self forgiveness is inevitable, really, really important. I forgive myself for using that energy in an unwise way that hurts myself and that hurts other people. And then making that commitment, like that's a good chakra, right? That
Mm-hmm.
energy is good. Now I'm going to really devote it to being open for work, for job,
Right.
for money, for giving to other
Mm-hmm.
people. Kind of for getting to a position where I can give money to other people, not just my body to other
Right.
people. So we convert the energy.
Okay. All right. So, J and S, though that's for you because I know you're listening. Cyndi, I want to go to your website for a moment, and that's cindydale.com, CYNDIDALE.com. You have all of your books listed there, I should say. You offer consultations, you have classes coming up. Talk to us about what's going on and how people can connect with you.
Classes are really great because it's that old analogy of teach somebody to fish to do the
Mhm.
fishing for them, and then you can always have fish and maybe even a cool hut next to the river too,
Mhm.
or ice, or an ice palace if you live where I do in Minnesota at the very least. So lots of great classes. I have a 9-month apprenticeship program that starts in March. I have some excellent shift network programs that are going to start up again. I think one is going to be in April. It's not on there yet, but look back
Uh-huh.
together in the summer. So lots of training. And I just love it when people also just buy, kind of an inexpensive product, or how to manifest. I'm going to put on a few just kind of one-off classes that are always inexpensive so people can learn how to manifest and, kind of how to attract what you need to you or how to do self-healing work. So, um, different price points for, people always so that you can become more of who you are.
Yeah, and but folks, please do not be afraid to invest in yourself. If you just go buy something and you let it sit on the shelf or it's on the floor or whatever and you don't utilize it, guess what? Nothing is going to change. But when you make an investment in anything, and I'm talking investment anything over $2, okay, it's
Yes.
important that you utilize the energy that you brought to you. That's really important. But, folks, I got to share with you one thing on her website, and I think it's under the blog, and it's called Daily Energizers. And I was like, okay, well, what's that? And I went, and today's energizer is good judgment. Okay. And it says, as
Ooh.
we know, good judgment is a quality to be valued. Okay. So trust, and there's more there, but trust, I want you to go and read it, but trust that. And if nothing else, check in for the daily energizers. Now, Cyndi, you work with people still doing
I
consultations?
do. The list is way out there.
Uh-huh.
But you can't get in if you don't get on a list. It's like you're
There you
saying,
go.
energy in, energy out. So certainly write in. There's lots of contact information on there. Write in, get on a list. I always try to make space for new people too.
Okay. And folks, she's very good. And as you can see, she's very friendly, very open. But like me, she will tell you the truth. She's not going to sugarcoat it. No. Okay. She might say it differently than me, but she's going to tell you the truth that you need to hear. And I greatly appreciate that. Um, Cyndi, our time has gone so quickly. What word or pearl of wisdom would you like to leave with the audience today?
Oh, what's popping in my head besides the good judgment is make love real. Be love. Do the loving activities toward yourself or other people that like reveal your true nature to the world. That's what I'm hearing to say. So that's what I said.
There you go. So, folks, do check out the book. You can pre-order it. It's Advanced Chakra Healing for Pathways to Energetic Wellness and Transformation. It will help you change your life to the positive, and that's what it's all about, right? We're these wonderful spirits that have this case around us, and we can, liberate that case and go get what we want. Go order it on Amazon, or you can also order it, I believe, from her website. And all of her other books are on her website. And again, that's CyndiDale.com, CyndiDale.com. So, Cyndi, thanks so much for being with me today as we collectively get over it and work with our chakras.
Amen. And have a great holiday, everybody.
Oh, yeah, you too. And folks, I appreciate you listening in. I'm always blown away when a client calls and said, "Oh, I heard your podcast." I'm like, wow, you have no idea how that affects me. But I want everybody to remember that the most important choice that you can make is what you choose to make important. Consider making the masterful choice of healing your chakras. Abundant blessings, light and love to all. Agape.